runners out there who may be experiencing some runner's knee discomfort, well, I want to kind of start addressing the things that you can do from a corrective exercise rehabilitation standpoint that can be very simple and easy to do at home. But there's a few things we need to make sure that's not happening with the knee. One is we want to make sure that the knee, there's no swelling, there's no fluid buildup, sharp pain, or major discomfort where we're having difficulty kind of just getting up and down off the floor, because these things may require more of a medical attention than just using some of the stuff that we see on YouTube or even on the internet. So with that being said, guys, if you're experiencing some more symptoms that feel like, you need actually to go see the doctor, please do so. Because if you are having the swelling, if you're noticing some fluid buildup, you do want to use the RICE protocol, which is rest, ice, compression, elevation. That is really important. If your symptoms seem to be a little bit more on the milder side, but you are noticing some difficulty, kind of some creakiness, maybe you're having trouble doing hill work, maybe a little bit of discomfort going up and down the stairs, then we can go ahead and we can go through some of the stuff that you can do to really help alleviate that knee pain. But like I said, use your best judgment. If you do feel like there is fluid buildup in the knee, please do go ahead, seek some medical advice and get that attended to, because you don't want it to become worse, especially if you are prone to having more of a meniscal injury or a medial collateral injury, or you do develop bursitis very easily or have had bursitis before in that knee joint. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go through some stuff that you can do if your knee pain, especially if it's runner's knee, is a little bit more on the milder side and you just kind of now are noticing it flare up a bit. Now, the other key component is if you're noticing this and it is coming kind of out of the blue, do recognize the fact that it could be coming further up the kinematic chain, meaning that a lot of times that our knee is actually just taking the force and load, but the real root of the problem is either at the hip, pelvis, low back area, or it could be more at the foot and ankle area. So it could be coming from the two opposite ends of where that knee is, meaning down below or a little bit up higher. So we're going to start to address what you can do for runner's knee in a very preventative way, and we're going to take you step by step through those things. So here we go. And this is step one. I've talked about this many times, big component of working out soft tissue because it's really a big game changer for a lot of people. All right, so the first thing we want to address is obviously our IT band and also our TFL. Okay, so it's this nice bit of fascia that comes down along the side. And as you can see on me, a lot of us have a larger outer thigh muscle than inner thigh muscle. So what happens is the patella likes to go ahead and track further out to the side, and then what happens is we start getting knee discomfort, pain, going up and down stairs, doing hill work, and so forth. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to address our TFL and our IT band in some soft tissue work. The second thing we're actually going to do as well is we're going to also address our piriformis on the foam roller, simply because a lot of us are a little wider in the hips. We might be prone a little bit more to external rotation here. Then the second part we're going to address with the foam roller, so we've got the TFL, the IT band, then the piriformis. Then the last bit we are going to address is actually the shin and the calf. So we're going to come down first onto our side. We're going to come down, place the roller right onto that hip bone. Now this may be the spot that you just kind of hold and just hang out for a bit because it could be a little bit more tender. I do like having both hands onto the floor, and I like leaning into it a little bit more, so kind of getting right where that bony prominence is on the front part of my hip, pelvis area, and then from here I'm going to go ahead, walk it all the way out, getting all the way down to my knee and coming back up. So right there, that's how you're going to stretch out and strip out your TFL and your IT band. I do recommend doing this about 10 times to each side. Now the next one we're going to do is obviously the piriformis muscle. So we're going to come in, we're going to make a figure 4 position. We're then going to lean into that right side. So the side that you make the figure 4 position, you're going to lean into that side, Put the hand here, open it up just a little bit more. Once you find that spot, you'll feel it. So what we've done is we've put the piriformis muscle under some tension, so this way we can really go ahead and dig out that tissue. Now, the last part, like I mentioned, is we want to address our shins, because remember, like I said, the knee pain may be coming more from the hip, low back, pelvis area, or from the foot and ankle. So we want to address above and below where the symptomology is. So now what we're going to do is first, we're going to come over and we're going to do our shins. So first thing, just go ahead, kneel onto the roller, get those shins on there, and then this might just be enough, putting some pressure here. If not, put the hands on the floor, gently kind of rock back and forward in this position. Then the next one is, you're gonna go ahead, you're gonna come down, and you're gonna get into the calves. So we're gonna come, put the leg out, just like so, stack the feet, get your body up, roll the calf out, but also get over towards those perineals as well, which is off to the side, come back, get over into that soleus as well. So you really do wanna go ahead and strip out that lower leg musculature as well. All right, so that was step one. Now let's go to step two. Okay, so now step two involves really now starting to fire off our VMO. What is our VMO? That's your vastus medialis oblique muscle. It's one of the 4 quad muscles, and a lot of times it's the guy that isn't strong enough to help with the tracking of the knee. So something very simple and basic you can do, take your roller, take your yoga block, simply come down onto the floor, go ahead, put that roller in between the knees, and just hold and squeeze for 30 seconds. Right here, you're gonna go ahead and reset those hips a little bit, but you're gonna start engaging that VMO in this position. So we're gonna hold and squeeze here for 30 seconds. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring our knees to our chest, and we're gonna now have hip flexion going on. So now all that can work is our VMO. Hip flexor is working just to keep our legs and knees up here. Notice I also flex my toes towards me, so I do want to also focus on working on a little bit of ankle mobility as I do this. This again, you'll hold for 30 seconds. The last bit, you're gonna come, put the legs straight up, as straight as you can be. Notice the foam rollers in between my legs. Feet are flexed towards me as well. Hold and squeeze, allowing for that VMO to really get tasked again for 30 seconds. So this is the first part that you can go ahead and do to start getting that VMO to really fire and work. Now let's look at step 3. Now we want to look at step 3 in how to really kind of alleviate that runner's knee. So we're going to still use our foam roller, but we're also going to use the wall, because now we're going to do a wall sit. But this is a different type of wall sit, because we're going to really focus on squeezing the roller in between our legs, working that VMO a lot more. So we're going to come against the wall. Knees are going to be at 90. Push the back into the wall. Take your roller, put it in between your knees. But I'm also going to tell you, lift the toes up, because I want you focused on pushing in through the heels. Squeeze all of your might into that roller. Fire off that quad, fire off that VMO, and now you should be feeling some shakiness. So with that being said, guys, this is 3 steps that you can do to help alleviate some knee pain that you may be having if you are experiencing runner's knee. Now, this is only a small snippet. There's a lot more that goes into this. So if you have further questions, or you want to go ahead and set up an appointment to do a free video consult with me, Dr. Heather, I'm happy to take a look at your knee pain further and really make sure that we're addressing where the root problem is coming from and how to fix it and get you back to optimal performance. All right, remember, if you have questions or comments, leave them down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you really like this video on runner's knee, give it a thumbs up. And like I said, if you need more assistance and help, please don't hesitate, book that free video consult with me, and let's take a look at how to really get you back to where you want to be for optimal performance. All right, everyone, this is Dr. Heather. Have a great day.